evening, sweet spirits. Tonight on BJ's Book Club, we have a very, very special book. Now, this is probably my favorite book that I've ever read. And so I'm going to recommend it with 10 stars. Now, it's called Conversations with God. It's by Neale Donald Walsch. By the way, there's 3 books. There's Conversations with God 1, 2, and 3. I recommend them all wholeheartedly. And the first one here is probably the best because it really explains about God, the planet, the beginning, the ending, the is and all, and it's very, very, if you want answers, this is the book. And it makes sense. I can't think of a book that's empowered me more in my life than this one right here. It changed my whole way of thinking and looking at things. Now, how it started to be was Donald was in a very, very frustrated point in his life. He had just been at wit's end with how uncooperative his life was. He'd never made a lot of money. He'd never done a lot of things. Things weren't turning out, love, relationships. And so in anger one day, he just started writing down his feelings and was like screaming out at God in these feelings. God, why have you forsaken me? Why aren't you here? Why don't you show me a sign? Why don't you talk to me? And all of a sudden with that came an answer. And the pen just kept going. The thoughts came in his head. They just flowed. And that's how it came to be. And that when he'd ask the question, the answer would pop right out on the piece of paper. Not magically, of course, he was writing. But who's to say we're not all the hands of God? And that's what I've come to believe. That we all have special moments. Not just the Pope, not just your minister, but each one of us can have a conversation with God every day. I'm going to read a little excerpt that kind of explains a little bit about this, okay? Here it is. Now, I'm going to be talking as 2 people as they do in the book. It is a conversation, okay? I've searched for the path to God all my life. I know you have. And now I've found it, and I can't believe it. It feels like I'm sitting here writing this to myself. You are. That doesn't seem like what communication with God would feel like. You want bells and whistles? I'll see what I can arrange. You know, don't you, that there are those out there that will call this entire book a blasphemy, especially if you keep showing up as such a wise guy. Let me explain something to you. You have this idea that God shows up only one way in life. That's a very dangerous idea. It stops you from seeing God all over. If you think God only looks one way or sounds only one way, or is only one way, you're going to look right past me, night and day. You'll spend your whole life looking for God and not finding her, because you're looking for Him. I use this as an example. It has been said that if you don't see God in the profane and the profound, you're missing half the story. That is a great truth. God is in the sadness and the laughter, in the bitter and the sweet. There is divine purpose behind everything, and therefore a divine presence in everything. You know, that says it all right there. It's about God is all and everything. And He's in my little doggies right here, and that's okay. And I want to let you know that this is the book, the one I wholeheartedly recommend. I hope you enjoy it, and it's been a pleasure having you join me here on BJ's Book Corner. Bye-bye, kids. Sweet spirits. See you later.